Professor Bryn Brown's research shows that vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. It is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists to tell their honest and authentic stories. I am your host, Sarah Nyakeri, who happens to be a scientist, informal science communicator, and I help scientists create personal websites. If you want to support this show, go to www.patreon.com/thevulnerable-scientist. You can also follow this podcast on all social media platforms at TV Scientist Pod.
Okay, so we have spent more than an hour and a half covering bioinformatics as my journey. It's a long-winded one.
Yeah. And I think we need to speak about it because when people tell people to go into bioinformatics, there are things they don't talk about. Because you've mentioned things like funding and the need for people seeing the need for bioinformatics in their project. I think I've seen a trend in my podcast where bioinformaticians, when they talk about them getting jobs, especially in Kenya, they talk about people seeing the need once they look for those opportunities. Like they realize, okay, we actually need a bioinformatician. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, that you've seen a trend in that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm glad I'm not that it's not an isolated experience. No, it's really good to know because I don't have well, you have a broader perspective now with your, interviewing so many people of what different career paths and challenges and all that they face. Whereas mine is very much narrow.
Talking about challenges, let's go to the lows that you've experienced throughout your career journey.
Lows, it's always low when we don't have anything in the pipeline. So not knowing what to do and like where life is going to go. I mean, I have to say I've been extremely lucky in finding opportunities. So I think I put it down to luck, not to skill or anything in my career path. All the opportunities I've had are sheer luck, and it was not through any rigorous planning that in X number of years this is where I want to be. No, for me it's just been like go with what presents itself at the time. What does it look like? Does it sound sound? Is it safe? Is it worthwhile? And then go for it. And once I'm not the type to look around, for the best deal, for example, like is this I'll have 10 opportunities lined up and then I'll pick the one that, no, I don't do that. I come to a decision fairly fast. But maybe I'm not even very fussy. I think I've taken whatever seems just presented to me and seems like it seems fine. Maybe that's an advantage. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It's worked fine for me. I'm not unhappy in my career path. Perhaps some things I would have. I can now, in hindsight, see that perhaps if I had known about some things before, or if I had not waited, but been a bit more assertive, let's just say, about certain things, or a bit more on the case, then maybe things might have been a bit better for me, but better in what sense? I mean, better in my skills as a researcher and as a bioinformatician. Not in like the opportunities provided to me. So my regrets maybe would be, I wish I'd just made the most of some things sometimes, like some things, most of my colleagues, or most of being around this environment, or most of, but one can't live in regrets.
Yeah. What do you mean by that, though?
So you mean examples? So for example, I wish I'd made the most of, I don't know, in my during my PhD, perhaps, maybe if I had, I don't know, made the most of my bioinformatics supervisor there, or been a bit more assertive about the direction I want to go in, or been a bit more innovative. I don't know. It's I can't put my finger on it. If so, it's maybe because I haven't given it. I don't have regrets, and it's not they've not formalized as regrets, because I've not let them get to regret stage. but it's just a way of being. I being a bit more mature now. Maybe my younger self, the advice I would give to my younger self would be like, just be 100%. I don't know. Ask around, for example, if you're going into a PhD, for example, like I should have spoken to other PhD students around, or I should have spent a bit more time at ILRI, or I should have asked if I could spend some time in South Africa at the university, where I could have benefited from some courses, or some other student life, or some training like that. So my PhD experience was very different from a typical academics experience, because it was purely in a research institute. It was at ILRI, and there wasn't much academia around. So perhaps I could have benefited a bit more from like the other course, the courses like statistics, or all those things that go into a training of a researcher. I wish I had access to them. But so in my new job, I'm gonna probably seek those out, because I will have access to those now. Yeah, those kind of things. So they're not regrets, it's just that things that you want to look into now. Yeah, or I could have, it would have been great if I had that opportunity before. Earlier on in my career, and that could have shaped lots of different things. But no, it's it is what it is, and I've, as I said, I've been very lucky and fortunate to have gotten all the opportunities that I did.
Okay. Is there another law?
Career-wise,
career or personal-wise, the way it's connected, just the way it's connected. Writing your thesis.
Right, thesis writing is probably everybody's low, of needing to finish and in time, and the pressure of submission, and the fear of evaluation, and all that. It was a tough time writing that thesis for me. Yeah, especially because I delayed writing it, so I was already in my postdoc when I was. I had written most of it, but I hadn't submitted it. And then, because there were some administrative issues with the universities, so I had to delay everything. But I delayed finishing writing it, and then I was already doing a postdoc, and it was doing two jobs, or an evening job, full-time job and an evening job. But thank goodness I didn't have any children, because I think I'm sure there are people out there who are in tighter situations than I was.
Because of family time, which is also important anyway.
Yeah, if I had family, I probably wouldn't have finished my thesis.
Wow.
No, yeah. Some things have to drop. I couldn't drop my family.
Yeah. Priorities.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So no other lows that I can think of.
What talking of thesis, like what how would you do it differently to make your life easier in terms of writing your thesis? Because it's a common struggle.
I would write it right from day one. Over the years, what I've learned is write. So any little piece of work you do, don't commit it to memory. Commit it down on a paper. Just document everything, even if it's really crude. If you have something, even basic, just even really lacking detail, broad brushes of text, just that's a starting point that you can build on top of. So I would say right from, everybody says that, I think, is like just right from the beginning, but it's easier said than done. But the thing is, it's not impossible. It's just a matter of forming a habit. And just get really good at text editing, like Microsoft Word and Excel and those applications, and touch typing, because that really the technical, those kind of technical skills are often underrated, I think. Basic skills, like if you know how to use Word to format your thesis, it will save you hours. My husband, who's a great supporter of mine, and has been forever, without him, he laughs. He credits himself for me finishing my thesis, because he helped me focus and get it done. But he's much better at Word than I was back in the day, and so I was struggling with LaTeX. I don't know if you know that that
what
tool.
Is that?
LaTeX
for
is
the referencing.
It's you can even write and format theses in it.
Oh, okay.
Or documents. So you write it in. It's like Markdown. You would write Markdown, and then you would process it, and it would come out perfectly formatted in the way you wanted.
Okay.
But so back in the day, that was all the rage. So I was here, trying to get that to work. And he's like, why don't you just do it in Microsoft? In Word. I'm like, well, it's a bit fiddly in Word. And he showed me the shortcuts and how to standardize, your headings, and automatically number your tables and figures, so you don't have to and hyperlinks, or what are they, cross references or something like that, and so that if you changed the number of your figure in your text, it didn't it would automatically get changed and all that, like, you know, the semi-automation that so that made it, that really helped me getting my thesis out to the door. Otherwise I would have spent like ages with the there's a technical term for it, right? It's not proofing, but it's the final thing where in editing that you do, where you clean it up and you do the formatting and all that, so to make it look pretty and remove the typos and all your text matches up with your figures and all that. Yeah. So PhD, get comfortable with these tools as early as possible, and touch typing is I think is great. Like if you can type really fast, you could type at the speed of your thoughts. Okay, not as fast, but like you could get your thoughts down really, really fast, and that would I think it breaks a barrier of writing. And no matter what kind of a field you are in, if you're a lab scientist, you probably think that you're not good enough, or you're not skilled enough in computers and all that. I think that's just an excuse. Anybody can get proficient in Microsoft tools, and it's not Microsoft is not the only tool out there. There's free ones, LibreOffice, of course. If you don't have a subscription for Office, and they are just as good and powerful. So, and now with the internet, there's so many courses, free courses, that teach you how to be good at
anything that you want to be anyway.
Yeah. So yes, invest some time, and it's not gonna be time wasted. It's time well spent and skills well learned, because you will be using them in your thesis, write your thesis the whole time. And then writing, if as a scientist you need to be writing all the time. So the sooner you get comfortable with it, the better.